Welcome to you once again. This is zeedamastrology, bringing you my tarot series, giving you tarot and patra readings, birth charts, crystals and runes included. Join me on this journey. Okay, Trine, we start off with you for this period October 1st to 23rd, 2022. And what is your situation that you're currently facing for this period? What is your question that you want answered? Is it about your finances, your career, your relationship? And, what is that current situation that is happening with you? And that current situation will be focused on the Three of Air, which is the Three of Swords. And there is no getting away from the Three of Swords, where it suggests heartache, loss, hurt, feelings of loneliness and despondency. The pain experienced by this three causes confusion and bewilderment. And it can take people unawares. It comes up upon them suddenly. And in the original Rider-Waite card, you have the background where you have a gray background, your clouds and rain, and it symbolizes the flow of tears that we find impossible to stem when our heart is broken. But rain, when we look at it differently, is a powerful cleanser. The downpour clears the air and washes away all unnecessary debris so that we can breathe once more. The earth looks renewed and refreshed after a thunderstorm. Tears like rain have incredible cleansing abilities and can greatly assist in washing away our sorrows. So that, yes, it's the Three of Swords, it's about heartbreak, it's about grief, it's about loss. But as the rain bursts forth from the clouds, it triggers a huge emotional release. The trees in these tarot generally indicate growth, but the swords approach this in a most difficult manner, suggesting that, there is no gain without pain. And often, after we have healed ourselves, we find ourselves stronger and wiser. So, we have the experience of growth in our personality and in our character, even if we have gone about it the hard way. So, there is some learning curve that is happening for you here. Trine, we will encounter the energies of the Three of Swords at some stage in our life, for we will all experience loss, sadness, or disappointment on some level. How we deal with it, however, will determine whether we grow or let us, wither us away and embitter us and have us looking at negativity all the time, or the potential. We're not seeing the potential or the opportunities from this learning and this growth in spirit. And as this suit of swords deals with communication, this Three of Swords can, or this card can suggest a vicious argument. A vicious argument about people getting into your business, people getting into your world and probably trying to send you in a path that is not for you. So that it could be a quarrel between friends, rumors and gossip spreading about you to bring you that heartbreak and pain. But as the card says, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself and or others. So, the Three of Swords highlights the need to let go of old pains and hurts, as they are bound to be affecting the present. And what led to this position? What caused this problem? What is the heart of the situation? And interesting. The heart of the situation is from the sun. And I will take this to be that probably our ego gave us some kind of personality that brought about this heartache. Because the sun card tells you that anything is possible, when it appears in a reading, and it suggests that your day has finally arrived. But why would this bring about heartbreak for you? You know, you have acknowledged your shadow side. You know, you have in the devil card, which is the card before this, you have survived the trauma of the tower. You have stabilized and healed in the star card, all before the sun card comes in terms of the number. You have faced your fears and demons in the moon and now are cleansed. So you are in the best position to enjoy it. But why would it bring about heartache? Because this card is the card of, you know, what brought about the situation. And probably you had too much confidence. Your ego got in the way. That is what this card is telling me, that you probably enjoy the moment too much and probably, you know, held it over the heads of people around you who now have thrown you to the wayside because you felt you knew it all and you had it all. And, you know, you had that conditioning that you weren't authentic to yourself, and you revealed some motives and principles with you believing that you had it all and you have now reached your day in the sun, and you know that you can do what you want, when you want, and how you want. And probably this is what you have to temper down, because you probably gave an impression of utilizing too much power. You know, you didn't shine the light on others who helped you along the way. You brought it all on yourself. You wanted the sun to shine on you only, without revealing the truth. So this is probably what brought you into that position. You know, and now again, what do you have to consider? You have to consider the Five of Earth, which is the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles represents the material world, and the money and possessions the Pentacles type thrive on, you know, and they have gone on and are left with nothing, because money and having it is getting it is basically what their world revolves around. So this is the character and the factors that you have to consider, because you probably had fears surrounding money, and when you got some, you just let loose a little too loosely. You know, you were only thinking about your circumstances and not understanding that really people helped you along the way. And behaving like the sun brought you to a point where, okay, you know what? Heartbreak, heartache, Three of Swords. So these are all pointing to, you know, glass windows probably for you, air trine. And recall that the air trine is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So that if any one of you fall into this category of, or if your air trine that you are looking at it, then you need to be a little careful for the period October 1st to the 23rd. And what is the advice that the guides are going to tell you? The guides are telling you, my goodness, the Queen of Fire, search your wings or stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Now, this is what you can achieve in the future if you let go of your ego. You can be that confident, warm, intelligent, graceful Queen of Fire, you know, and a dynamic and positive suit element. The Queen of Wands loves to be in the thick of things and, you know, never stands on the sideline. So get back into the thick of things, but understand that you need to temper your ego. You need to think about others. And while you may have, you know, you should also utilize the wisdom to accept help from others, because they helped you along the way. And you know, the Five of Earth tells you in its card uncertain self-employment. So you know, if you have your own business, you need the help of the community, you need the help of friends, you need the help of those around you. So the advice is, be the independent Queen of Fire, so that you know you can become that confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful person, because you want to be that whirlwind of efficiency, a brilliant manager and organizer, and you know, you're overseeing occasions with ease, with style, with panache. But you need to do it in a way that others don't think that You know, you are lording it over them, that you are an egotistical queen of fire, you are an egotistical sun. Archangel Uriel is there for you. So always be on the lookout for where you are required, and tamper down your enthusiasm and desire for yourself and focus on others. You know, so what will be the outcome here if these are the lessons you have to learn? And the outcome here is justice, fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. You're standing up for your belief, but you're doing it in a way that represents justice. You know, and justice appears in a reading to remind you that you are at a point in your life where you are exactly where you deserve to be. You know, the laws of karma apply right now. You are reaping exactly what you sowed. So if you sowed the sun and egotistical, you are getting heartbreak, and that is your karma. But you still have opportunities here to learn, because this is the potential of the cards. It's telling you, if your karma created the heartbreak with the three of air, where you have great sadness, the cards are telling you, look, this might be the cause, the heart of it. You let your ego get in your way. Your character may not have been the down-to-earth person that you are normally are. You can get back that confidence, that warmth, that intelligence by being graceful, by being independent. You know, don't underestimate yourself. Say sorry. It will not make you weak. Think about others. Think about how they are feeling by your actions and your deeds, you know, so that the scales are balanced at the outcome and the situation has turned out just as it should be if you utilize the guides giving the advice to you here. You must take full responsibility for where you are now, for all your preceding actions, thoughts, ideas and deeds have brought you to where you are now. And if you are honest with yourself, you will accept this and address the situation or make amends. You know, here you stand before the judge, but in reality, the judge and jury are both yourself. You know, you may lie to others and pretend to be something you are not, but you are only fooling yourself. The justice card is compassionate though, you know. Her upright double-edged sword, only one of two in the tarot, the other being the Queen of Swords, shows us that she understands the duality in life, that sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we succumb to a weakness in our personality, in our character, you know, that flaw comes out to play, but we are only human, and there is a duality, and justice understands that. So her double-edged sword also reminds us that there are consequences for everything we do in life, but no one can escape her spiritual court of law. You know, no one can hide the truth. And there's a saying that the moon, the sun, and the truth are three things that cannot be hidden. So there is no getting away from the crime and blaming someone else. The finger is pointed at you, and you are the orchestrator of your own life. And so you are responsible for each decision made and each action taken. And, you know, let us just clarify with two deities. And the first one is Iset, surrender. And Iset is telling you, surrender. You know, the lesson from Iset is everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. So that, yes, there is suffering and growth, but the outcome is justice. And Iset was the ancestral mother goddess and a symbol of both life and magic, you know. It was Iset who resurrected Osiris after he was slain by Set, the sun god in the African diaspora. You know, and she's regarded as a magic healer and connected with the cult of afterlife and death. And what is the cult of afterlife and death? Your spirituality, your faith, your hope, you know. So what do you believe in? And Iset here is telling you surrender. And she's a force of life and shadow at the same time, life and death. She works constantly to thwart the scheming of her fellow shadow lords who are more destructive or absolute in nature. You know, she's always fighting against the divine order, and that is justice, because justice says at the end of the day, your action will bring about karma, your action will bring about consequences. So that, you know, and it is a little bit of a lesson, you know, that we can do anything under the sun and moon, but we have to pay for it at some point in our life. And Iset uses her wisdom to strengthen ancestral bonds, manifest personal change, and bless the world. So Iset is telling you to surrender. Surrender to what you did, accept your responsibility for where you are, learn from the lessons that are going to be here for you, and work with the messages coming to you. And the next card that we have for the lesson is transmigration. And transmigration comes from chapter 2 verse 13 in the Bhagavad Gita, and it's all about Sankhya Yoga, which is analytical knowledge. And it tells you, just as the embodied soul continuously passes from childhood to youth to old age, similarly at the time of death, the soul passes into another body. The wise are not deluded by this. And you know, it is just explaining to us in this verse, the body means and is the possessor of the body or the soul. And Sri Krishna draws Arjun's attention to the fact that since the body is constantly changing in one lifetime itself, from childhood to youth to old age, in the soul passes through many bodies. You know, similarly, at the time of death, it passes into another body. So actually what we term as death in worldly parlance is merely the soul discarding its old dysfunctional body. And what we call birth is the soul taking on a new body elsewhere. So this is the principle of reincarnation. And this is the spiritual guidance that Vedic astrology gives, that I've married with the tarot. So it says that if you do not repay all the karma that you have inherited or built in this lifetime, you will be reborn again or reincarnated to continue to pay your debts to your ancestors. So Iset is telling you, surrender. Yes, there is heartache and you have to learn your lesson. Saturn is the judge, he's the lord of karma. He will guide you, but you know, he delays, but he does not deny. And what you do on earth is what you pay for on earth. So if you have brought about heartache to yourself and others, then, you know, Air Trine, you got to take responsibility and you got to pay for it. And this is the lessons for you for the period October 1st to the 23rd, 2022. Bhagwan's blessings has once again allowed me to bring another video to you on the Air Trine, and I ask that you share, you sign up, and you subscribe. I always ask that you stay safe, healthy, and happy until we meet again. This is usually my ending for my videos, but you know I always like to mix things up at zeedamastrology. And after this slide, you will find a tutorial on the concept of the trine, which I am utilizing for these horoscopes of the zodiac for you on zeedamastrology on my YouTube channel. So if you wish to have further information on why I use the concept of the trine and what the trine is all about, then you can continue on with this video. Thank you so much, and once again I remind you, share, sign up, and subscribe. The next 3 slides give you a synopsis or summary of the air trine and Vedic astrology and its alignment with the tarot card and the tarot spread as we see it, or as I see it here at Zeedamastrology. And this is just a reminder that the air signs are Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Okay, this is your tutorial. As I mentioned to you in this video, that I'm going to leave a tutorial so that you can see why I have formulated the Trine concept to read horoscopes at Zeedamastrology rather than read individual signs from Aries to Pisces for you. And I've found in my research and in my reading and from my teachings that there are commonalities between the tarot and the Kundali, which is your birth chart in Vedic astrology. So that these are the commonalities that have aligned together, that have created a method that will utilize the tarot and Vedic astrology to read and analyze for you in the Trine concept. And this is a Kundali or birth chart taken randomly on somebody born on April 21st, 2022 at 6 a.m. And this person's birth chart or natal placements are here for you to see that these are the placement. This is the fate of this person. This is the ascendant or lagna, as we say in Vedic astrology, where we say this is the first house of the 12 houses in the zodiac sign. So wherever the ascendant or lagna falls is where we denote in Vedic astrology your first house. And in this particular chart we go clockwise from Aries to Pisces so that we'll know where your first to 12th house falls. So your first house is Aries, your 12th house will be Jupiter. And each house in Vedic astrology denotes something. It denotes your wealth, your family, your siblings, your relatives, your children, your marriage, your father, your mother, your work, your career, your community, your luck, your spirituality, your illnesses, whether it's chronic or routine, you know, how you will earn your money, how you will lose your money, a multiplicity of things. And each of these houses has its significations that we read for you in Vedic astrology. So this is your natal chart. This is your fate. You cannot change the positioning of these planets in your Kundali, because this is the placement of the planets when you were born, the time you were born, and the place you were born. However, you cannot change fate, but you can change destiny. And destiny comes from the transit of the planets, because each of these planets, they move from one sign to the next during particular periods. And you can change your destiny through your freedom of expression and will, through your ambition, through your courage, so that you can change destiny. You can't change fate. And the transit of planets will give you a chance to change your destiny. And transits, planets move, as we see here, Saturn every 2.5 years, and so on and so forth. This is how planets move from one sign to the next. Neptune takes 14 years to move from one sign to the next. Mercury takes 1 month. Sun takes 1 month. And you will see these are the 12 planets that I deal with at Zeedamastrology, so that they are the ones that I look at and how they move. And every placement of a planet in a particular sign says something, does something, has an aspect on your natal planet, and it throws out potential or a pathway for you to understand what can be happening. You know, it is the natal chart is a map of what the sky was like on the day for us to know ourselves and to better understand the types of energy we have available for each moment and situation in life. And because of the transits where destiny can be changed, we can say that this placement is not decisive, but it shows options and it marks pathways in which we can utilize to make choices during our lifetime. And then we have the source code of astrology, and that FEAW is basically fire, earth, air, and water. Those are the trines that I look at, and the 4 elements are the source code of astrology, and they are the blueprint of your soul. You know, you become the architect of your destiny by using this blueprint of our soul. And the blueprint of our soul, one of the trines that I use, because it's the foundation, you know, one of the trines that I use is the Dharma Trikona. And the Dharma trine tells you that, you know, this is the trine that keeps us on the soul's mission, the accumulated merit and the manifestation of past karma. And this 159 denotes the houses 1, 5, and 9. And as you see, we have fire, earth, air, and water trines. So this is the source code of astrology. And tradition holds that religious duty, your dharma, is the primary aim of human life, since it is the foundation which you develop your wisdom and your discretion to pursue wealth, which is artha, which is another trine, happiness, karma, which is a third trine, and we pursue these wealth and happiness from the wisdom we get from dharma, so that we will not compromise our chances of liberation, which is moksha, which is the fourth trine. But I use the first trine because it is the foundation, it is the primary aim of your birth on this earth. And Hinduism describes the Dharma trine as the natural universal laws whose observance enables us to be contented and happy and to save ourselves from degradation and suffering. So that dharma is the moral law combined with spiritual discipline that guides our life, you know, and this is what the dharma trine is. And I'm just going to pull up another version of the zodiac circle, the 12 signs, and I'll just give you an example so that this random Kundalini or birth chart gives you Aries as the ascendant. And with Aries as the ascendant, that will be the first house. The first house will be Aries, the fifth house will be Leo, and the ninth house will be Sagittarius. And this is the trine. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius is the fire trine. And with the fire trine, even if your first bhava is Leo, then Leo will be your first house, Sagittarius will be your fifth, and Aries will be your ninth. You will still remain in that trine if your ascendant moves from Aries to Leo or Sagittarius. And remember, your ascendant moves every 2.5 hours every day from one zodiac sign to our next in Vedic astrology. And then we have the earth trine, and the earth trine can begin with Taurus. And if it begins with Taurus, then you would have as your fifth house, you will have Virgo. As your ninth house, you will have Capricorn, and this is your earth trine. Then your air trine will be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That is your air trine. And obviously your water trine will then be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, so that all your signs are taken care of there, as you see. So these are the trines. And why I do the horoscope in trines is because Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, when one is activated, each of these are activated because they are in a trine. They are in a dharma trine, a dharma, where your duty, where your vision, where your wisdom are all created for you to understand that first house is you are born, then fifth house is your children, and the ninth house is your father. So you get the circle of evolution. Your father produces you with your mother. Your mother helps you throughout your life. When you are an adult, then you produce children. And that is where you get this circle of evolution, so that the dharma trine here is what connects each of these 3 signs in the zodiac. And then we have the tarot deck, and the tarot deck as we know it has wands, pentacles, swords and cups. And you will see that the wands is with fire, the pentacles is earth, and swords are air, and cups are water. So that here now we have the commonality between the tarot deck and the zodiac astrology, the source code of astrology. So that this is what I find with the commonalities. There are so many other things that I can speak about, but this is the basic. This is the basic. And if we have to talk about, a tarot spread, that my go-to tarot spread is the Tetractys. And the Tetractys tarot spread comes from that Greek philosopher Pythagoras, who threw out for us the Pythagoras theorem. And he can be viewed as a Vedic Brahmin, because 3 of the things he did or believed in was that he wore white exclusively, he was a vegetarian, and he believed in reincarnation. And his theorem existed in the Sanskrit texts in India. So that there we have the commonality again. And then even so, the tarot deck, the fire is clubs, pentacles is diamonds, swords is aligned to spades, and cups is aligned to hearts. So this is where we get the commonalities. This is where I can utilize a union of tarot and Vedic astrology to bring you a complex issue, but a different take on reading your birth chart, because you cannot live by yourself, you weren't born by yourself, and you can't grow up by yourself. There is a community, and that community brings the trine, so that you feel comfortable if you are in the fire trine with people from Leo and Sagittarius if you were born in Aries. Likewise, it goes so for the other trines. So this is my research, this is my method that I use, and I hope I was clear, complete and concise. I ask that you share, sign up and subscribe, review my videos, look at my transit series, and I will join you next time. Thank you so much. This final informational slide tells you about its synergy between Vedic astrology and tarot based on my research at zeedamastrology. And I ask that you look at it, you understand it, you digest it. If you don't understand, as I said, look at my previous videos or drop me a line at zeedamastrology.com or zeeda55@outlook.com.